When people think of conflict situations, the following words usually come to mind: disagreement, argument, aggression, violence, negative emotions, lack of respect, resentment, sadness, attack, competition, anxiety, tension, misunderstandings, etc., etc. On the other hand, the words that people associate with non-conflict situation generally revolve around the following terms: harmony, well-being, trust, respect, cooperation, help, warmth, relaxation, understanding, openness, etc. These perceptions of conflict and non-conflict situation are fairly widespread, and it's true that they reflect, at least in part, the reality of conflict and non-conflict situations. That said, these perceptions are also a bit too extreme. They reflect, on the one hand, the worst possible interactions, and on the other hand, the best possible ones. In reality, things are generally less clear-cut. There are, for example, conflicts in which partners choose to cooperate rather than compete, or continue to be respectful of each other despite their divergences. Similarly, non-conflictual interactions are not always harmonious, warm and relaxed. On the contrary, we know that even in the absence of conflict, misunderstandings abound, and well-being is not always guaranteed. Far from it. Conflict and non-conflict situations, as we have described them in our word lists, represent the extremes of a continuum, whose poles represent the worst and the best of interactions. Most of the time, we are not at these extremes, but elsewhere on the continuum, either more on the negative side or more on the positive side, but rarely are we at the extremes. In addition to making us understand that things are not necessarily always radical, the idea of the continuum has another implication, that one of highlighting the necessary subjective character of the perception of conflict. Indeed, for the same situation, two different people will perceive their positions on the continuum differently. In the same way, a similar behavior may appear to be more or less conflictual depending on the context in which it occurs or the person who has expressed it. In a future video, we will return to this notion of perception and highlight the individual and contextual factors that can affect this perception of conflict.